I'm going to call to order the Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024 meeting of the Planning Commission. I'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you call the roll?
Commissioner Bardis?
Here.
Commissioner Dolan?
Here.
Commissioner Stapp?
Here.
Commissioner Hamame? I think we're expecting her still. Commissioner...
Ding.
Oh, perfect. Commissioner Hamame? Here. Commissioner Arnsman?
Here.
Commissioner Woods?
Here.
And Chair Kempner?
Here. Okay. Can I get a motion for the approval of agenda?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes of October 24th, 2023. Does anyone have any changes? I would just like to mention that they were really well done. So,
Thank you.
all right, a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes of October 24th, 2023 are approved. Now the minutes of the November 30th, 2023 joint meeting with City Council. Changes or motions?
Motion to approve as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? November 30th, 2023 minutes are approved. Communications.
Nothing substantial to share. There are some issues that you have in the Michigan Citizen Planner, and there's also a brochure listing out the various education opportunities, some of which I've sent in the monthly emails. That's all.
Thank you. And citizens' comments. I don't see anybody, but I'll say my spiel anyways. This is for items not on the agenda. You will have time to address agenda items during the meeting. For any comments, we ask that you come to the podium, state your name and city of residence, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. The Planning Commission will not engage you in conversation, but will be noting your comments and will try to address them during discussions. Do we have any citizen comments? Okay, moving on. PSP 0124, 3120 West 11 Mile. Kristen, would you like to give us a little summary?
Yeah, just a couple things to note on this particular, application. This is for a plan that was previously approved by the Planning Commission in, I believe it was 2022. The applicant at this time is seeking to make some changes to the facade, and the facade only. So all of the site plan elements that were approved as part of that would remain. Building permits have already been reviewed for those site plan elements, so that would need to be updated if that were to change. This is for one of our proposed marijuana establishments on 11 Mile Road. There were a number of things associated with the marijuana business license, most of which were part of the site elements that the applicant was awarded points for as part of that process. There are two things, though, that were on the facade that would need to be noted on the plan, and should the Planning Commission choose to approve the facade changes this evening, I would ask you to include these in the motion. One is that the green roof that was previously included in the plans and is part of the points that were awarded for the business license needs to be indicated on the facade. And the other is that a mural that was previously shown on the facade that was approved and again was awarded points as part of the marijuana business license process also needs to be indicated on these facade changes. If you have any questions, I'm happy to go over them.
I got one question. Was having a tenant part of the point system?
Yes.
Okay.
For this particular establishment, yes.
I see. Okay.
Anyone else have questions for staff at this moment? The applicant like to come up and say anything?
Hi, my name is Jawan. Just want to say that the green roof is remaining and the mural is also remaining. We're just changing some of the materials to fit our brand.
Okay. Okay.
So the colors are pretty much staying the same. It's just making the entrance a little more prominent. So when you enter the site, you know it's a little more clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Comments, questions, discussion?
Question, I guess I'll start.
Sure.
So to follow up on the tenant question, was there anything, Kristen, as far as, it looks like the tenant space has been reduced. Does that matter that it's a smaller space, just that they provide a tenant space?
Correct. So in the marijuana business licensing point system application, as long as it was a mixed-use building, they were awarded points for that.
Okay. And then next question, it looks like you're basically leaving the west facade as is now?
Is this a question for the applicant?
It's a question for whoever can answer. How about
Looks
that?
like,
Let me pull the plan.
it's like west and north, right? Because I don't see any revision bubble on the north side either.
I'm looking at A-3,
3-1,
yeah, 3-1.
yeah.
West facade
Is, I see,
yeah, correct. We're just gonna be painting it, cleaning it up and painting it.
Okay, so you.
Which originally pretty much, that's how they previously had it.
It wasn't it called out as brick?
It was.
It was EFS scored as brick. We're just gonna keep it EFS. We're not, and we will add some scoring to it to match the front to kind of tie into, but we're not gonna do the whole scoring with the brick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, EFS is probably not as nice of a looking material as what was originally proposed, would be my concern.
EFS was the original material that was proposed.
Was
They just
it?
had it scored to look like block.
Why, so on your A-3.1, on the left side elevation, that's previously approved, that's the same material, it's just scored?
That's how, yeah.
I can confirm that in the old plan set if you give me just a second.
Sure.
That's the other, I think she's referring to the other side, not the side where the mural is, correct?
Correct, the west
The one-
side.
The west side, the one that
Yeah.
says, abuts the, I'm sorry,
And
that's the, no, which they're scoring, which is EFS,
Well, it's set as split-faced block.
For us to meet our
You have to use the.
It's existing EFS right now, and for us to meet the R value, we want to keep the EFS and just clean it up. So,
So there's not a sheet in here for that particular facade, so I don't think they were proposing any changes to that facade. But the rest of the previous approval included mostly split-faced block.
Okay. But it was, there was,
one second, please.
this is, I don't know if, was this the original submittal that you guys had?
This is the approved plan in my hand.
Right.
I don't know which version of
This is
that.
the original one, because it actually did have a colored elevation of that west side.
I
See if
never
I can
saw
find it.
That's fancy. Maybe I should be getting them in paper form.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, so, can I, thank you.
So it looks like some of the EFS was staying, some of it was gonna be split brick, or split block, I should say.
It does say EFS. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
This is original submittal.
That's the original submittal?
EFS to be scored to look like.
Okay. Okay, so you're proposing the same thing, same color, and it just won't be scored?
A little bit lighter, and we're not doing that many scores, it just, we don't want that. It's similar to the colors, a little bit lighter.
Okay.
And we're not doing these many scores. We're actually wanting to, instead of looking like concrete block, we want it to look like concrete panels.
Okay.
So just a little bit different and trying to break away from what they had. And then the entrance where we want the metal panel system to kind of just emphasize on the entrance when you walk in.
And are you still this shows 3 lights. I didn't see if that showed any lights on the side. I think that was a topic of discussion at some point, whether or not they had lights on the west facade or not. Are you proposing lights or?
We're proposing lights on the front and the side where it's visible to the customers.
So the south and the east side, you're
Yeah.
proposing like wall lights or
Yeah, just
sconces or
decorative
whatever?
lights, yeah.
Okay.
And something like that, the accent lighting is something we could review as part of a building permit. It wouldn't come to you guys.
Okay. Excellent. That's all I got.
Yeah, and and we're keeping everything that pertains to the merit points. We didn't change anything except maybe like you shrunk the size a little bit because the plan wasn't sufficient enough for the new owners. So, okay. Thank you.
So, Kristen, I have a question.
Yeah.
In order for this to be in full compliance, they have to indicate the rooftop garden and mural in the revised plans?
Right, so if you guys were to approve this evening and have those as conditions, they would just submit to me an updated plan that includes notes indicating those things.
And I thought I heard you say it, but for clarity, it's black metal that you will be using, not wood.
Well, it's black metal that kind of has a little bit of a wood, yeah.
Okay.
And the drawings that you guys have at the city still have the mural and the green roof. And we really want the mural because we have some ideas for that. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions, thoughts, motions?
Well, we should probably talk about the front facade as well, because it is quite different from the windows that were proposed to what they're proposing now.
So,
Yeah, I think this is really old, so let me.
or it's October 22nd in the Planning Commission.
I
Or
remember thinking it was
October
a little
of
much.
22.
I can speak to the windows if that's okay.
Yeah.
The reason why we changed them is because actually Lara, which is the state, does not allow visibility into a sales area. So what was proposed before really did not make sense for the operation.
Weren't they really tinted though?
They were tinted, but if you're not using them for what? They have to be tinted to a certain level where you can't see in. Because they do not want pedestrians being able, and especially kids, being able to see in. So that's a Lara state.
Okay.
That's actually the state law. So for us, we just felt like, you know what, why keep them that size as long as we meet the city requirements, and we do meet the city requirements for glazing. So that was our idea behind why we changed it.
Okay.
Since if you can't, and I believe as like when we design something, if you can't use it, why fake it? So, but the requirements are met for the amount of glazing. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, so as far as the facade and the window, all of that, I don't love this look as much as I liked the last one. That being said, we don't have design guidelines for 11 Mile. There's not a whole lot I think we can do besides say we liked the other version better.
Agreed.
May I make a comment? The other thing too is we don't have the signage on here, so that's going to play a huge part in this.
I was just
So-
gonna ask about that. Are you still gonna call it Moses Roses?
No, we're going to call it Gus Exotics, and I can have one of the owners speak on that. Adrian? We decided to go with Gus Exotics because,
Well, it's Gus's Real Exotics. I don't know if you guys have the logo or anything. I submitted it to our department here, but Gus is my dog. It's been a year-old brand now. We've been kind of taking off in the market a lot. Whether it be dispensaries or cultivations or brands in general, we always try to do things a little different. We're a very high-end brand, and I really want to put together a nice high-end shop that doesn't look as industrial and cut and dry as the rest of them. And I feel like it'd be a great addition for the city because it's based around my dog, Gus. We have a whole profile and everything for him, and I don't want to say family-friendly because it's a marijuana business, but it's a lot more approachable and friendly-looking brand, especially for a neighborhood like this. So I thought it'd be a great addition.
What's it called again?
Gus's Real Exotics,
What kind of dog?
English Bulldog.
So we're gonna put the logo, pretty much what was previously submitted, we're gonna have a big logo instead of, I can't remember, they had like a Moses, like a man's.
It was.
Yes.
We're gonna have so we're gonna actually have Gus, and I can show you guys the image if you like. I can pull my phone out and show you the image. So that will give the facade some life to it, and also above the 3 windows, put the name on there with our colors, and our colors are actually teal, and because we want something different. We don't want to look like every single other dispensary out there. It's like with the the black, the wood,
Industrial.
And the reason why we went with this facade, because we felt like, it was kind of close to what was presented, and we weren't sure if we can, take it further. But
Sure.
and I can, if you get a second, I can show you the logo, Gus. And Gus is very popular, actually, which everybody wants to meet Gus. Yeah.
Show 'em that one.
Yeah. One was shown as teal.
That is cute.
And those are the colors, so it's not your typical, we're trying to,
Okay.
the teal, kind of just try to do something a little bit different.
And this is the logo?
This is the logo, so this was gonna be above where, they had the Moses, or was it a rope, I can't remember what they had.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what's gonna go there, and then this is the teal we wanna use, because we, and that's what I was hoping to do with the mural too, is bring in a mural with,
Yeah, I saw it. I pulled it up.
okay, so that's Gus. And that's like the other colors and the teal and stuff, so it's gonna bring life to it, but again, like, we didn't want to take too much away from.
Do you have another location, or do you sell your product in other facilities, establishments?
As of right now, before, if or when this opens, we're just a cultivation team. So we really just have a brand and a product, and kind of like I guess you could say like a lifestyle page. People that love cannabis and love dogs really love and follow the brand, and we've had a lot of success over the years, and many different people like us for whether it be our product or our branding or everything. So yeah. So we have no other location. This would be the first
This
standalone
will be
location.
first. So, but you do, your product is sold at other establishments?
Yeah, it's actually around here. Quality Roots carries my product, and Pleasantries will when they open.
Got it.
So, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thoughts, comments, motions?
My only comment is it seems that they meet the requirements, they're not changing anything. I'm not gonna tell them how to design their building as long as they meet the requirements, so I'm satisfied.
Yeah, same.
Then does somebody have a motion?
I don't remember what we were supposed to condition approval on.
The mural, yeah,
Roof and the mural.
green roof and the mural.
But the issue being the mural be submitted for review administratively, right?
Actually, murals have to go to the zoning board of appeals. For right now, I just need it indicated on the plans, and then staff will take it from there.
So it'd be
Contingency? Would it be?
motion.
Yeah, contingent on the mural
Okay.
and the green roof being added.
To the plan.
Mhm.
Michael, is that your motion?
Got it started.
Okay, let's see. Trying to get find the actual number here. Okay, so a motion to approve Site plan PSP-01-24, contingent upon adding a green roof and mural to the revised site plans.
I'll second that.
Kristen, would you like to call the vote?
Yes. Commissioner Bartis?
Yes.
Commissioner Dolan?
Yes.
Commissioner Stapp?
Yes.
Commissioner Hamame?
Yes.
Commissioner Ernstman?
Yes.
Commissioner Woods?
Yes.
Chair Kempner?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on. Planning Commission bylaws and rules of procedure. Oh,
I was just gonna ask, what's the steps, maybe this is not the time, what are the steps for the mural, like who do we meet with and who did, because
Sure. Sure.
we're excited now that we have a brand.
So I will follow up tomorrow with an email noting your approval and what you need to submit to us to finalize that, and I can include the steps for the mural. It's really an application to the Zoning Board of Appeals with a drawing depicting your mural. They determine whether or not it contains a commercial message.
So do we create the mural, do we work with somebody in the city to create the mural? 'Cause I
You would
wasn't
work
told-
with an artist to create the mural.
And is there a list of artists that you guys prefer? Because I've been hearing mixed things, I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No, that's okay. So the DDA director, there's quite a few murals in the downtown area. He may have a list of artists that have worked in the city before that I can
No,
work
we
with
would
you
love
to
that.
get.
Actually, we'd want somebody from the city, so that we prefer that.
I can follow up with you
Thank you.
tomorrow.
okay. Planning Commission bylaws and rules of procedure.
So this is an annual item that we have to visit. I looked things over, didn't see anything that needed to be changed, but if anyone on the commission does, this would be the time to do it. Otherwise, you will not see this again unless something specific comes up or it's next January.
Good luck.
I would like to once again note my dislike of the idea that we have to approve absences, because I don't feel like it's necessarily our business and it lays the way for something weird. So please pass that along to City Council again.
I have shared that, but I will note it again.
I'll put it on my list.
We're looking at you. We're looking at you.
I'm one vote.
Because honestly, I think most bodies that have to do it just blanket approve, right? Like if they're not there, we approve their absence. I don't need to know what like your medical or health or issue is generally as to why you're not there. That's like a staff council sort of thing. There's my argument. All right. Anybody else have any commentary on the bylaws and rules of procedure? Do we need a motion on it?
Not if there's any change. If there's no changes, no, I don't need any motions.
Are we all good?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Moving on. Committee liaisons.
So this is the third meeting that this has come up, and it's been a carryover. These are the two ones that are not filled. Environmental meets the third Tuesday at 6:30. The Zoning Board of Appeals generally the first Monday at 7. You do not need to fill these liaison appointments, but maybe since we have everyone here, the group can either decide to fill them or to leave them vacant.
I'm sorry, I'm spread too thin right now. I cannot. I will not even attempt it. This is the first time I've said no. And it shows in what I have going on. So I'm sorry. I know that sounds terrible, but I can't.
You're fine.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Totally.
Were you, because this was like from a couple months ago, right?
Yeah, I was doing the environmental, and they switched it on me from Thursdays to Tuesdays. Tuesdays are rough. So if you're game,
Yeah, I think I could
Okay.
do that.
cool.
You said the third Tuesday
Mm-hmm.
at 6:30. Okay.
Anybody want to take the ZBA? I watch it from home. All right.
I promise once things settle down for me and after zoning ordinance steering, things
Yeah.
will settle down for me. I'll do more, but right now I just can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I
Right.
will. I feel really bad. Can you tell?
All right. Well, we got one out of the two.
Okay.
Hey.
So I'm gonna take that off of future agendas, if that's okay then.
I feel
Okay.
okay with that.
Are they looking for someone? Do they want someone? Have they said anything? Do you know?
No,
ZBA specifically?
Yeah.
I don't know that they've like expressed it. It just was always a liaison. Because if something comes up in there all the time, then it's usually means we should look at it again and see if like, if this is the setback we should really have or what have you, right? Like, and re-examine, but
But doesn't that also create a potential conflict situation if somebody wants a site plan reviewed and it has to go to the ZBA, then the planning commissioner is also sitting as a voting member?
well, a liaison isn't usually a voting member.
They
They're
would- they
usually
wouldn't-
just like
yeah.
him.
Okay.
they wouldn't be a voting member.
Oh, okay.
Nods.
So just sit there.
Takes excellent notes.
I do.
Although there was one time that we had a planning commissioner that was also on the ZBA, and I thought the same thing. Like, gets a little wonky there.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like
Right.
it would be allowed.
Okay, and then actual liaison reports. Has anybody got anything?
Council met January 8th. Council met. They had a presentation from 44th District Court judges regarding some of the programs that are going on in the courts, inviting the elementary school kids down, and some of the after-school programs that Judge Meineke and Judge Kulikowski are pretty excited about. Had a first reading of an ordinance regarding the precincts. Black History Month was declared for February 2024.
Can I just say, the judge, like, Adriana usually moans and groans when I put on the city council meeting, and she saw he was on there, and she was like, oh, it's Judge Meineke, I love him. I
It's
was
very
like,
exciting.
"What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Savannah was here as well to say hi.
Yeah.
So, my
Speaking-
daughter.
Big fans of the kids.
I went to law school with Judge Meineke.
Really?
He used to put on this, we're recorded, aren't we?
Conversation for another time. That's awesome.
Say no more.
I did not go to the last DDA meeting because I had COVID, so.
There was not a quorum, so you didn't.
Oh, okay.
you
I didn't miss much.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I went to the chamber meeting in, I don't remember. It was in December. I think it might have, yeah, I think it was in December, and it was my first one. They basically, let's see, any news? Essentially, everything is getting set up for this year. There's going to be a retreat coming up in February, I think. It moved because of the snow day. It was supposed to be last month. No, I went in November because actually the December one was like the holiday party one that they have.
Okay.
So, which I didn't make. But they were just doing mostly year-end discussions and looking forward to the future year and setting up meeting schedules and chairs and things of that nature.
Yeah, okay.
So there wasn't too much that crossed paths, I would say.
Okay.
The ZBA is looking for 2 members. If you know anyone, the ZBA is looking for 2 members.
The actual.
The actual ZBA. You guys are filled and they now are feeling the pain. So 2 members for the ZPA. There's vacancies. And then the zone ordinance workshops are tomorrow from 6 to 8 at the high school. And next Wednesday, the 31st, same time. Tomorrow they're talking about parking. And then the 31st is development review. So they've been pretty well attended.
To pile on that, if I can try and convince y'all to come to these steering committee meetings, because I think it's important to hear, not only like to rehear what the steering committee is like planning, but also to hear where the problems or excitement is from the community so that we can better tweak these because we're going to be the first approving body for it. So it's good to have all of that information.
What are the remaining ones again?
Parking is tomorrow.
And then development review process on the 31st,
Oh,
the following Wednesday.
That one will be
That's
less
the-
exciting.
yeah,
Last
that's the
week
less
was multifamily.
I was thinking the development one was gonna be the really exciting one.
Well, I mean, as far as residents, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Of the four
how a
we've
bill
done,
becomes a law, how a development becomes a building is less
Yeah.
exciting than
True.
out of the four we've had, that one's probably the least contentious.
Yeah.
The last
Probably,
one.
yeah, exactly. The first, I did go to the first one. The first one was really well done.
What
and
were the two topics again on the first one? Housing and
The first,
Corridors.
yeah, the
Oh,
first one was kind of like
corridors, yes.
general zoning changes.
okay.
And then the second one, we talked about duplexes.
and multifamily.
Accessory
Very
dwelling
Accessory
units.
dwelling.
Was that one probably even more attended than the first one?
You know, it was about the same.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was one of those like really cold. It was like when they didn't have school, right? Because it was so stupid
Last
cold.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was cold, yeah.
And
I'm surprised we got the number we got.
I would have been there. I had some
Um,
surgery. Leg surgery.
Ew.
Yeah.
there seemed to be some dislike or worry or concern about the plan for Greenfield and Elwood. In the master plan, we had it where like if somebody were to assemble 8 parcels and then put like a bigger building on Greenfield and then smaller ones on Elwood, that seemed to create a lot of concern. So I don't know if that just needs better education as to like what we were doing, because the idea was like, well, you're pushing multifamily into the
Yeah.
neighborhoods and
People tend to see what it could be and then assume that that's what it will be. But there's a lot of things that go into that, and yeah, obviously.
and I think I spent a lot of time trying to explain that the way that we had it, the way we envisioned it was that Elwood had to be single-family homes, right? Like maybe they didn't have as much of a backyard as you normally would, but from the front, from the Elwood side, it would look and act like a regular street. So I don't know if we need to do more education on what we were thinking there and better explain that or what, but that seemed to be one of those things that made people very concerned.
Sure.
Sorry, I kind of overtook that.
No, that's okay. I'm glad that you guys had so much to share on that, so that took care of one of my items. In the packet, there were also some memos that talked about what the steering committee has been working on. Thank you to Lisa Hamame and Lisa Kempner for attending that. It's been a really busy month for that group, and we're not quite done yet. We have just a couple sections left to get through. There may be some items coming to this larger group next month as part of some of the questions that we were not able to answer as a group on the steering committee. And we plan to still have a full draft in April. And after that, we will have some more public engagement and obviously some work with the Planning Commission, but we should have a working draft of the entire document in a few months. So that's really exciting. If you have any comments on the steering committee memos or anything that's in the Google Drive that's available to all of you to review, please let us know now. I don't want to wait until we have the working draft, and then a lot of questions and comments are coming up that we could work on incorporating ahead of time. And you're always welcome to attend the steering committee meetings too. They're the first Wednesday of every month at 6 and they have a hard stop at 8:30, which we've been pretty good about following in the public safety conference room. And the public is welcome as well.
When are they again?
They're the first Wednesday of the month from 6 to 8:30 in the public safety conference room.
I know, she was so proud of the 8:30, she forgot to tell you it starts at 6.
It starts at 6, yeah.
With refreshments, right?
No, there are no refreshments. You have to bring your own.
BYOR.
We could find some water if that gets you there. Any other commissioner or staff comments?
Oh, I started attending the RC Academy today, actually, right before this meeting. So I'll be doing that for the next 6 weeks on Tuesdays.
Those are good ones.
Did they revamp it? I mean, like, I want to say that I took those 7 question mark years ago.
They
there-
probably did then.
There's been a little bit, not a ton. I mean, the principles are still the same. We're trying to work our way still through to certification, but one of the big items is really the zoning ordinance. Once that gets done, there's just a couple little things that we need to finish up before we can become certified. But RRC, for those of you who maybe haven't had the chance to attend yet, really talks about making your community development ready. So are your processes clear, efficient, concise? Do applicants know what to expect when they come before the body in terms of what your concerns are, but also what the community expects? And that's what we're using the zoning ordinance to kind of lay out and why it's such a big piece of that program. But it's making sure that there are clear expectations on both sides of the table.
What's it stand for again? I was trying to.
Redevelopment ready communities. It's through the MEDC.
So this make us, once we become RRC certified, we'll be able to have access to certain grant money?
Yes, it does make certain grant money available to us. They are funding half of the zoning ordinance rewrite.
Oh, wow.
So that was a good chunk of money for them to contribute.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right.
Move to
Anybody-
adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned at 7:36.
Wish I could for you, Lisa.
I know, right? I usually didn't have to pause. You were on it.